Hello there. Today is Wednesday. I thought I had something much more dramatic to say there, but turns out I don't. So here we are. I've been incorporated for about 3 months now, so it's been a quarter. And this quarter was maybe a little bit harder than it should have been because I tried to do a bunch of stuff all at once, but that's kind of my style. Just doing all the things all the time. Never one after another, just always all at the same time. Um, and so here's what I learned from incorporating. The initial incorporation piece, like after the lawyer handed me the corporation papers, I had a bunch of stuff I had to do. I did a video on all the stuff that I had to do. And so that took a little while, but it wasn't too bad. It was a one-time thing and that was fine. But since then, there have been a few things that I didn't really expect to be an issue. So one of those things, probably the biggest thing, was managing cash flow. And I thought, because I had been separating the business from my personal for months before I incorporated, I thought, oh, it's going to be the same thing. It's not going to be a big deal. But when I incorporated and had to create a business account, then it created a whole other profile in my banking. And so now I can't just transfer money to myself. I have to send an e-transfer. And I have to think about, how am I going to pay myself out of the company? Is it a salary? Is it dividends? If it's a salary, I can't just run an extra paycheck if I'm set up to do 2 per month. So do I have to do a bonus? If I have to do a bonus, I have to be cognizant of CPP. And it's felt like it's a lot harder to get money out of the company than it was when I was a sole proprietor and I could just literally transfer from one bank account to the other. So that has been an interesting side effect of incorporating, that it has been harder to manage that. And it's also been harder to manage the cash flow of the company. Now, I'm not sure that this is because I incorporated. I think it's actually because I switched proposal software. So I'm now using a system that pays out regularly instead of Stripe, which I just had set up to pay once a month, and then I pay all my bills and then I'd be done. And I didn't really have to think about it. But now this software pays out every time I get paid. And so I have to be really, really cognizant of, okay, how much money is coming in? What bills do I have to pay when? And when in the future are my subscriptions going to get paid out? Because there are times that I'm like, okay, like I know I've got a MasterCard bill that I'm going to have to pay on the 18th and I have to pay on the 15th, like payroll remittances and payroll's got to go out. And it's just been a lot harder to manage all of that. But I think, like I said, it's less to do with incorporation, it's more to do with the changeover to the new agreement or proposal software. But of course, I did them at the same time, so it's tough to separate. And then I also bought a house, so I required a bunch of money out of the company that I wasn't expecting to when I incorporated, because I didn't know I was buying a house when I incorporated. And so I've been having to make those decisions as to how am I going to pay myself out of the company, and it's happening a lot faster or a lot more often than it would have if it had just been like a normal 2 months. But I mean, what is a normal 2 months really? So both of those definitely made this process a lot harder than it needed to be. But overall, I am very happy that I did this, because yes, it's causing me a little bit of thinking, like I got to think about this a little bit, but I looked at the income that I've made in the corporation over the last 3 months, and I have saved, just in the last 3 months, I've saved $6,375 in income tax just in 3 months. So I haven't actually paid over this income tax because I haven't done my taxes yet, but this is the difference between if I had paid income tax as a sole proprietor and I had paid income tax as a corporation. So worth it, definitely worth it. And the things that I'm struggling with, one, buying a house is done, so I'm not going to do that again anytime soon, hopefully. And the switching over to the new software, it's really just going to take some practice to manage having payouts every other day, or paying out when I get paid instead of having it once a month. So just going to take some getting used to, but overall incorporating was definitely worth it. If you're a small business owner and you're thinking about incorporating and you're not sure if now's the time or not, check out the free PDF that I created. It's seven accounting mistakes small business owners make and quick fixes to get out of trouble. One of those mistakes is incorporating too soon. So I just talk a little bit about why you might want to incorporate and sort of how you know what the time in your business is to actually do that. So I've linked that in the description. Definitely download that and check it out. If you have questions about your specific situation, you're like, I still don't know about whether I should incorporate or not, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to chat with you about it. And if it turns out to be more complicated than we can chat about in the comments, then I'm always happy to book a call with you. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. And if you've just incorporated, let me know what you've learned. Has it been surprising? Has it been no surprises? If it's been no surprises, I want to know how you knew what was coming because I have surprises. Anyways, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.